data today. But can I ask you, if I would ask you, if you were in a position to take action now, you or the group or some of you, what steps would you implement? This is an unfair question, maybe.
Well,
but effective measures that should be implemented, in your opinion.
There's been a lot of measures put forth, and we're currently discussing those right now. And we'll be putting a lot of suggestions to DSAT in our submission on the 23rd of September. There's been some absolutely fantastic ideas put forth. I mean, just let me throw a couple at you. And these are not sanctioned by the group yet, because we're currently going through that process of consensus within our group at the moment. But simple things like some people suggest, and the government have suggested these things, like that speculators shouldn't own taxi licences, that all taxi licences should be owned directly by the drivers themselves. That's one idea. Another idea is to have geographical region taxi licenses, because one big problem in Macau is you cannot get a taxi in North Macau. Taxis don't want to go up there, the roads are too small, they get stuck, they can't make any money. So maybe you could have a taxi license that was just for North Macau.
And rotate them?
No, it would be a cheaper license. Much cheaper license. Yep. So that would be an idea. And they're just a couple of little ideas. Now, for every idea you come up with, you can think of reasons why it won't work.
Yeah, of course.
Of course, there are objections. But we, in the group now, are going through that process. We're actually starting that process in earnest tomorrow. But there have been lots and lots of ideas thrown forth. Our focus at the moment has been on the blacklist and the whitelist. Now that data has come out today, from tomorrow, we're going to focus on suggestions. And we've actually got a call for ideas for our members going on from tomorrow. And then the administrators of the group will crystallise those ideas into a coherent submission, which will be our September 23 submission.
All right. Why now? Because the deadline is approaching, is it? And what is the objective of this? This is just like, okay, you came to a point that you think that. No, I don't think that's not a summary of your activities. It's more than that, yeah.
Yes, the reason we published the list now was that we had enough data to make a first go at it. We've got 141 specific incidents have been reported by our members in these 60-day period that the group had been open from 30th of June to August 28. The data goes up to August 28. And that we felt that along with the 88 identified taxis that were that committed those 141 specific incidents, we felt that was enough data to publish for the first time. It's 7.5% of the Macau taxi population. So there's 1,180 taxis on the road in Macau, 1,080 black taxis and 100 yellow taxis. And we identified 88 taxis. Some are on the black list, some are on the white list. Well, most are on the black list.
But there's also some that are on both lists. Yeah,
there's actually three.
That must be to do with the rotation of the taxis with more than one person.
It could be to do with the rotation of the taxis. It might also be to do with the fact. Now, this is an interesting thing. One of our members is in fact a taxi driver.
Oh,
actually, at least one. There may be more. Right. One of our members is. I've met him. And one of our taxi members is a taxi driver who admits to fishing, no less. And he came onto the group, and there was an incredible response to him. And if you have a look at the thread that he started, I think from memory there's 280 comments on that thread. And he was attacked and vilified when he first came on the group.
Well, how does he justify the fishing?
Well, he justified it somewhat sheepishly, I think, by saying, and this seems to be the justification in Macau by the taxi drivers, that they can't make enough money if they don't. They say, if I don't fish, if I go according to the meter, I will only make 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 a month. And I do understand the economics of it. I mean, it costs 400 patakas a day to rent the taxi from the owner. And if he goes by the meter and they make something around 100 an hour and they do a 6-hour shift and they lose half an hour to an hour of the shift in getting the taxi and returning the taxi, by the time they also pay for their fuel, the drivers have to pay for their fuel somewhere between 1 and 1.7 patakas per kilometre. There's really no money to be made unless they fish. Now, as many of our members have pointed out, that doesn't give you a right to break the law. If you're a teller in a bank, and the bank is paying you a very bad salary and you can't feed your family from it, that doesn't give you the right to rob from the bank. So what it does mean is you need to go back to the bank and say, hey, this isn't fair, I can't survive, and go get another job. And in fact, my understanding is that driver actually has gone out and got another job. So there's a problem here.
It's a bit sad that just now